In this video, I'm going to walk you through why it's important to settle your land and build all at once. In fact, buying land and building months later is a big mistake. Today, I'll show you how this cost one of our customers $10,000 and what you can do to avoid making the same mistake. So if you're thinking about building a home, keep watching. And remember, show some love and hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things property and finance. 1. What are we seeing? Bank valuations are erratic at the best of times. Construction valuations have more risk associated according to the banks and their valuers. So an as-if complete valuation, that's the type you get when you're building a home that hasn't yet been built yet, is falling short consistently. This means new home buildings are being valued lower than it costs to build them by the banks and their valuers. Because of this, it means you either need a substantially larger deposit or worse, your application could be declined. Let's take a look at a few recent examples and what we're seeing. So here we have two different valuations, and off the bat, we can see that there's a $37,000 difference, with the biggest being in what the valuers believe the land to be worth. One saying $405,000, the other saying $370,000. When buying in a new development, the valuer relies on recent sales. Unfortunately, they're unable to use the sales in the same development as evidence, as the valuation is done purely based on recent sales close by and of similar size. With vacant land being so scarce is a very common reason why they fall short. The next example shows a completely different problem. In this, we see the valuers differ in opinion as to what the building's actually worth. One believes it to be worth $271,000 and the other $286,000. So whilst the land might not be an issue, the building could potentially be. And if it's not the land, nor is it the building, it could be the landscaping. We're also seeing valuers reduce the valuation when your build hasn't included miscellaneous items such as your air conditioning, curtains, and fencing. In this specific example, without these items, the valuer reduced the valuation by $25,000 as believed the property was incomplete without these items. Half the trouble is that there's no science in completing a valuation. It's more of an opinion, a person's best guess. But stick around and we'll uncover what you can do to avoid shortfalls. So keep watching. 2. Case studies. It was early last year I met a couple who were looking for help with finance. At the time, they were still shopping around builders but had bought a block of land and needed for it to sell by the end of July. Helping them with the land, everything went to plan and without a hitch. Fast forward 2 months later, and they were ready to build. The first thing we did was to arrange a bank valuation, and we're relieved in getting the same firm who valued the land. Previously, this firm had valued the land at purchase price, and it gave us a lot of confidence we weren't going to experience any difficulties. But this was short-lived. Upon completion, the valuer had undervalued the property by $20,000. But this wasn't for the build, they had devalued the land. This was the very same firm who had 2 months earlier valued the block of land at purchase price and now had reduced this by $20,000. That's all in the space of 2 months. Having picked up on this discrepancy, we immediately challenged the validity of the valuation. We evidenced the original valuation given 2 months prior and noted the subsequent reduction of the land by $20,000. I mean, the market hadn't changed, the value was the same, so why the shortfall? Whilst the valuer admitted fault and amended the valuation, they still stood by the overall valuation of the property. So in the end, they just moved the shortfall from the land to the build. Even though we took this all the way to the top, the valuation stood and our customers had to wear the $20,000 shortfall, which was no fault of their own. And let this be a lesson. For once the valuation is complete, even if the valuer is unequivocally wrong, know that the ship has sailed. And to change this is as rare as hen's teeth. For this customer, it meant we needed to switch lenders, ultimately costing them close to $10,000 in both non-refundable mortgage insurance and switching fees. 3. Focus on the builder. The key to success all depends on your builder. It's because the only way you'll know if there's a shortfall in valuation is for a valuation to be completed on both the land and build. The trouble is that for most builders, it can take between 12 and 6 weeks to complete a fixed price building contract and your plans and specifications. These are the documents we need in order to complete your valuation. Like our example mentioned earlier, when you're ready to arrange a valuation, you'll also want to include other miscellaneous items like your fencing, driveway and landscaping. In short, anything else you want done to the property. Providing these items will not only enable you to lend for them accordingly, it'll also ensure that once the property is complete, there's nothing else for you to do. And at the same time, helping avoid any unnecessary shortfalls. So let's recap before moving into the strategies. Firstly, we know that there's a trend in shortfall new build valuations. Secondly, a shortfall means the difference between getting your home loan approved, declined, or needing a much larger deposit. Thirdly, that the only way around these shortfalls is by completing both the house and land all at once and upfront. And fourthly, that the builder needs time to complete their process. Okay, great, we're on the same page. So the final piece of the puzzle is the person or company which owns the land, which is known as the vendor. It's a fancy way of pretty much saying the property seller or land developer. 4. The vendor. And this is where you'll be slowed down, as from the vendor's perspective, all they want is a block of land to be sold. Whether the valuation falls short when it comes time to build doesn't concern them in the slightest. Their goal is solely tied to selling the property. And once it is, well, that's mission complete. So the two biggest roadblocks at this point will be both the finance and settlement clause for the land contract. And what you want this to be linked with is your build contract. But be warned, the vendor wants a quick sale, typically looking for everything to be tied up within 30 days. And this won't be enough time, and therefore from the offset, we'll know this to be the sticking point. Also consider that the sooner the land settles, the sooner you'll start making repayments. And with most lenders reluctant to offer interest-only periods for the land loan, it'll mean you'll need to juggle both your mortgage and your rental payments at once. Compare this to delaying your land settlement and being able to pay interest only until completion on both the land and build. It'll give you heaps of breathing room so you won't have to live on baked beans and rice for the foreseeable future. If you're unable to agree on the appropriate finance and settlement terms needed, you only have one of two choices to make. To either accept the risks associated and having to start your mortgage repayments earlier, months before you're ready to build, or be willing to walk away, knowing that property is like waiting a busy bus stop. If you miss one, nothing's lost, as there's always just another around the corner. 5. The process which allows for success. The first thing you want to do is connect with the builder or builder broker. Before looking at what land options are available, you want to know the type of property you're looking to build. Each builder has a unique style and a value proposition. So at this stage, it's best to have a discussion with a few and hone in on the type of property you're after. When choosing your builder, the biggest thing you want to do is know how long it'll take them to generate the documents needed. That is, the fixed price building contract, the plans and specifications from once you found the land. Now you've shortlisted the builder, the second is to begin to find the land. Knowing how long it's going to take for your builder to generate the required documents and having a similar conversation with your broker, you'll be able to know the approximate finance and settlement clauses needed for once you've found the block of land. The third step is for bank valuations to be arranged. This is where your mortgage broker will arrange between 3 and 4 valuations with different lenders. By doing so, it'll ensure any shortfall in valuations are weeded out from the get-go. The final step is to proceed with your finance application and to get yourself an approval. And there you have it. You'll be building in no time at all. And best of all, by following these steps, we'll avoid making a very costly mistake. So I guess it is true. You can have your smashed Avo and flat white too. So now it's over to you. Are you looking to build your first home? Did you know here at Hunter Galloway we help people across Australia? So whether you're refinancing, purchasing or building, you're in good hands. Simply reach out and call us on 1300 088 065 or visit us online, huntergalloway.com.au. Thanks for watching, and remember, hit that subscribe button below to keep up to date with all the latest. I'll see you next time.